Hello, Yvonne Gebauer with My Therapy Room, and I'm going to take you through as I create my Try It Tuesday number 11 for the challenge over on Karen Birchall's Facebook group called All Things Mixed Media Creative Katie. I'll put a link in my comments. So what I've done here is I'm listing off what all of the steps are for the challenge, and I'll just put a link to her video in my description box. But anyways, I'm using a dictionary page that I've used as a clean off for my Dylusions daubers when I use them. I don't like to waste that paint. So I'm just putting it over top of a flashcard. Karen is retiring from teaching, so I was able to get a box of flashcards from her. So she's doing an iCAD series with hers, and I'm doing whatever I feel like it with mine. It's kind of a little mishmash of everything. So I'm just adhering the dictionary page to the flashcard here just with my Mod Podge. I usually use my Mod Podge if I'm just going to be doing any kind of adhering. I don't use my expensive gel medium. So get it on, and then I'm going to do the saran wrap technique. Now, I've never done this technique before, so this was the first time for me. So I just sprayed the card down with a little bit of water because I wanted it to have a bit of a watercolor effect, and took some of my Dylusions paint. And you do not need much of this paint. A little bit goes a very long ways. So I just spread it over top of all of those colors. And my idea was I was hoping when I put the saran wrap on that as it's scrunched up, the background colors would show through behind the purple paint, and it did that quite nicely. I was very, very pleased with the results after it had dried. So here you see me just peeling off the rest of the saran wrap, and yeah, I was very happy with the end result of my little experiment with the plastic wrap. So here I'm just trying to decide on what I'm going to use for a cutout from my free printables. I decide on a dragonfly, and I fussy cut this out and adhere it. Next, you're going to see me mixing up some, or actually I mixed it up before I put the video back on. But there was a storm brewing outside, and I didn't know that at the time. And so I'm going to leave that portion of the video in where you can hear this clack of thunder, and I honestly thought the neighbor's house had blew up. It was that loud, and I'm in a 4-level split in the very basement. So I'm a long ways from any weather happening outside, and I don't usually hear it. So I'm hoping that this recording will still kind of keep that part of it in here. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute here. So I've got this homemade journal that I made just out of envelopes and watercolor paper, and so I don't want to waste this. So yeah, I don't know if you heard that that rumble, but in fact I had to go back and listen to the video because I thought I might have sworn. Because I honestly did. When I shut it off, I kind of said like a holy you-know-what. Anyways, I'm just trying to add some color to this dragonfly. I kind of want to bring in some of the background colors that were in behind the purple. And did a very kind of watercolory effect as I'm coloring in the dragonfly. I come a little closer here so you can see it here. I'm trying to hang on to my husband's headset as I record this, and his head, of course, is bigger than mine. So here's a box of homemade stamps that Karen and I did, and we recorded a video on this, a year ago probably. And I'll put a link to that video right in this. There's going to be a little I show up in the top corner, letter I, and you can just click on that and see the video where we created these little stamps. I see I forgot to rotate this video or this portion of the video around. So I decide on that stamp, and I'm just using that to fill in some of my background with my black archival ink. Quite happy. And then I was going to use that, and I thought, yeah, no, that's enough. We have enough texture and stuff happening in the background here. So I just cleaned off my work surface, and then grabbed my my Mod Podge again and adhered my dragonfly to my card. He turned out quite nicely, actually. I was quite happy with him. I was going to use both of the little dragonflies, but decided on just the one. So yes, and then I've got a quote, and I started out writing it in my black Permaball, Pilot Permaball pen, but I just found that the black kind of melded into the background a little bit too much. But my quote says, "Merry everything and a happy always." So we're supposed to have a holiday theme. So I just thought instead of Merry Christmas, it'd be a Merry Everything and a Happy Always is what my quote says. So I went over it a couple of times with the black, hoping, well, maybe I just needed it to be a little bit darker. And yeah, I wasn't quite happy with that. So you'll see I end up grabbing my white Signal pen instead and went over top of the black. So you do still sort of see a little bit of the black in behind, which I was fine with. And but I just liked the white much better. It just made it pop off the page that much better than the black. And when I get to the end here, I try to do the border with a white little squiggly line, and my white pen had pretty much ran out of ink, so I had to go and dig for a new one. And much better. So I'm just doing a really scratchy, squiggly, not even squiggly, just a real scratchy line kind of going all over the place. And then I come back and go over top of the quote again just to make sure that it really pops. And much better when you've got a white pen that actually has some ink in it. It works much better. So there's my card, my tag, I guess. Thank you very much for coming along with me on my little journey once again. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I love reading comments, so please feel free to leave me a comment. And yes, very much appreciate this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.